Welcome, everybody. This is our ALEGE video series on decision making. I'm Alexandra. This is Wendy.
Hi.
Hi. I wanted to talk to you about why people don't really like rational decisions and why some of us absolutely love them. I hear that Wendy has some questions for me, so.
Yes, I actually do have a few, especially what is it exactly rational decisions? What are those?
Okay, now we're gonna get into history. So we actually hear very often talking about rational decisions as being the best kind of decisions, the desirable. Others, on the other hand, say that rational decisions don't exist. Especially strictly rational decisions refer to those decisions made based on preferences between options, but without emotions or values. Now, few know that the term rational decision is generally used for strictly rational decisions, as opposed to decisions based on an extended rationality. That's another theory. And this theory accepts emotions and values as part of the decision-making process. Now, to use reason, as in rationality, in the strict sense, means that people need to separate mental and bodily processes. Bodily processes like emotions, even values, they come from our emotions. So reason is defined as the ability to judge using logical induction and deduction, right? So when we make rational decisions, it means that basically we are using our judgment to make that decision. Judgment doesn't, in its strict sense, doesn't include judgments about our emotions. In reality, the emotional processes and those for judgment work together. So in our brains, the most recent research shows that we actually cannot make any decision without emotions.
Yeah, this debunk the myth that we can make strictly rational decisions separated from those that are linked to our emotions. So is it the case that we can make decisions in the absence of emotions?
Well, the thing is that due to some accidents, researchers have been able to see what actually happens when the part of the brain that is responsible for emotions, processing emotions, is damaged. And what happens is that people couldn't even choose what shoes to wear today. They were completely blocked. They couldn't decide what to do. They would wake up in the morning and they would be frozen into, I want nothing, right? Because they don't feel for anything in particular.
Which makes hard to make decisions.
Absolutely. There's no, if you cannot formulate any preference, then you cannot make any decision. And in order to be able to formulate a preference, you need to feel something. Or, feel something pull you towards it.
This takes us to the next question. I was wondering exactly how can we identify or how can we know when we are making a rational or an emotional decision, or can we separate them, a very strict rational decision from a very emotional decision?
Well, what is important to consider is that each one of these types of decision-making processes is appropriate in a certain context. We can definitely differentiate between them. But even in the areas that are commonly said to belong to strictly rational decision-making, like, I don't know, choosing a company for a supplier for your business, right? Even in such decisions, our values come into place. Like we might take into consideration loyalty to something, or we might take into consideration, I don't know, the fact that we just like the vendor, which is debatable whether it's important, but loyalty is definitely something important. That's a value, right? So I would argue that it's difficult to separate them fully. However, it is desirable that we use emotional decisions for the kind of decisions and contexts that need such a decision. Like in a personal context, you want to take into consideration what you feel. Definitely. Of course, you also want to take consideration the logical part of things. You don't want to end up with a partner that sleeps in very cold temperature while you need 30 degrees. That's where our reason comes into place.
So let's going back a little bit, why is it that we don't like strictly rational decisions? What is it behind it?
So as much as philosophy of science has promoted strictly rational decisions, people have actually throughout time seen on their own experience that it's very difficult to do that, right? Okay. So as much as philosophy of science has promoted this idea, people still struggle with it.
Thank you so much, Alex, for your explanations. And we would like to hear from you in the comments below. We will be reading you, we will be answering your comments. And for all of those who are interested to go deep into these and other topics, we will be leaving our website in the description.
See you in the next video.